Welcome back, star fans, to Billionaire Investment, the channel where we don't just watch spectacular rocket launches, but also break down the technology, strategy, and power moves behind SpaceX. Today, we've got a thrilling lineup. Flight 10, a historic mission recap. Booster boost back, simulated Starlink payload deployment, and the splashdown in the Indian Ocean that brought back priceless data for the next chapter. Booster 15-2, static fire in the rain, why it's called the final roar of Pad 1, and what it signals for Starship's infrastructure. Infrastructure progress, updates from Pad 2 at Starbase and Florida's twin sites, the Flame Trench, Deluge Farm, and the service structure rising at LC-39A, Starship 5-3, the real leap forward. More powerful Raptor 3 engines, integrated hot staging, a 100-ton payload to LEO, and unlocking in-orbit refueling. Future roadmap, Flight 11 closes out Block 2, ushering in the V3 era. Beyond that lies V4, a colossal design with approximately 10,000 tons of thrust, built for Mars ambitions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because the V3 era is coming fast, and I'll be right here to guide you through every bold step SpaceX takes. Flight 10, 3 historic milestones booster, first controlled flyback. After stage separation, the booster ran a stepped throttle sequence, 13 to 3 to 2, even hovering briefly, then executed a boostback and a controlled splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico. It's proof of a pre-programmed return and the foundation for ultra-rapid reuse. Ship 37, payload deployment rehearsal. After CTO, Starship released 8 Starlink simulants using a PEZ dispenser mechanism. Each dummy satellite went into a temporary decaying orbit and burned up, delivering a real-world test while keeping space debris to 0. Ship, full re-entry exam, Starship completed the belly flop, flip to vertical, landing burn, and a precise splashdown in the Indian Ocean. The mission returned high-value data on heating, aeroloads, vibration, and heat shield performance, gold for the next generation. Takeaway, Flight 10 checked 3 boxes: a controlled booster return, the ship's first real payload deployment, and full re-entry data capture. Hot staging, locked in. The booster throttled down to 3 center Raptors, clamps released. 6 of the ship's Raptors lit cleanly through the integrated hot staging ring. Separation was smooth, no shake, no plume wash across the structure. The booster flipped seamlessly and went straight into boost back. Bottom line, valves, ignition, and separation are fully synchronized. The hot staging architecture is solid and ready for V3. Payload deployment, approximately 1 per minute, the PEZ dispenser ran flawlessly at roughly 1 payload per minute. RCS and engine gimbals fine-tuned attitude between drops, ensuring clean separations even in a thin atmosphere. All payloads burned up on re-entry, keeping orbits clean while delivering complete mechanical, electrical, and thermal data for future live deployments. Telemetry and video, major upgrade. A high-bandwidth, multi-layer downlink kept continuous footage from belly flop to splash. More detailed callouts, SECO, engine cluster start, stop, avionics, and tighter sensor sync produced a sharper thermal and aero load map. Cleaner, denser data shrinks analysis cycles and lets SpaceX confidently ramp test cadence, clearing the runway for the V3 era. Booster 15-2, Pad 1's final roar. Just days after Flight 10, Booster 15-2 rolled to Pad 1 and roared in the Boca Chica rain. Frost lines crept up the tanks, OM vents poured like waterfalls, the methane subcooler growled, engine chill frosted the OLM catch ring. At T40 seconds, the DSS threw a nitrogen water curtain. At T10 seconds, the deluge went full flow, drenching the steel plate like an upside-down lake. A 10-second 33 Raptor static fire lit a deep orange column through the rain, the starter pistol that closes Block 2 and opens the Starship 5-3 era. Bottom line, Flight 10 proves the 3 pillars: controlled booster recovery, real payload deployment, and full re-entry data. With hot staging stabilized, deployment running at cadence, and telemetry upgraded, SpaceX has locked in the foundation to charge straight into Starship 5-3 with higher cadence and super heavy payloads. At the golden moment, all 33 Raptors ignited in 3 pulses, raising a column of deep orange flame into the rain. 10 seconds of thunderous roar, bass vibrations rolling across the dunes. The Dune camera caught shockwaves shimmering like fish scales in Schlieren patterns, bouncing off the water-cooled steel plate and swirling into a white vapor halo. Engines cut, deep-pressed vents howled long, white clouds burst from the tank tops, and the frost lines sank. Detanking had begun. A clean, short, and striking static fire, the final roar of Pad 1 before handing the stage to the Starship 5-3 era. The Deluge tank farm expansion will pump millions of liters of water per launch, cooling the OLM's steel plate and killing the echo back that battered Pad 1. A brand new NASA-style flame trench replaces the flat stool pad, splitting exhaust into 2 channels to reduce stress, extend pad life, and align with Pad 2 standards. Closed-loop fuel production brings an ASU for pure O2/N2 and an on-site methane plant, cutting thousands of tanker trips, saving logistics, lowering accident risk, and boosting energy independence. The goal? Approximately 25 launches per year, nearly 2 per month from Pad 1, turning it from a test stand into a production-ready complex for V3 and V4. Pad 2, the industrial standard instead of pumps, gas generator clusters burning LOX/CH4, blast tens of thousands of liters of water in seconds, self-powered by Starship propellants and less failure-prone. Pad 2's Deluge farm is nearly complete. 5 giant tanks plus 1 small, enough to absorb the fury of 33 Raptors. The service tower is being armored with metal, composites, and concrete. Its booster QD has shielding doors for safer cryo-fueling. Piece by piece, Pad 2 is becoming an industrial fortress. If Pad 1 was the training ground, Pad 2 is the operational benchmark, an ecosystem built for dozens of launches a year. Modular testing and McGregor SpaceX validates risk-heavy parts before full assembly. B-18.1 tested aft sections and transfer tubes under LN2 compression. B-18.3 checked the forward dome and open hot staging truss. Data confirmed safety, reducing Flight 12 risk and speeding Pad 2 standardization. Meanwhile, McGregor runs non-stop. Chill downs, full thrust burns, relay test, even push to failure, proving durability for Raptors 2 and 3. A massive new rig, taller than normal stands, hints at HLS testing. It may simulate lunar gravity, test LiDAR/radar autonomy, or serve as a cryo/booster rig. McGregor has evolved into a Starship lab, especially for Artemis HLS. Mars landings and scaling up. Early Mars starships may land on skirts without legs, reducing weight and mechanics, but risking tip over in regolith. These will act as demonstrators. Later craft will use wide-folding legs for safe crew and cargo. V3 lifts 100-plus tons to LEO with integrated hot staging and Raptor 3s, proving rapid reuse and orbital refueling. V4 pushes further, stretched tanks, more engines, 6 RVACs, and a booster delivering approximately 10,000 tons of thrust, the most powerful rocket ever. Its size exceeds megabay capacity, requiring a new gigabay after 2027. Bottom line, Pad 1 is reborn, Pad 2 is industrial grade, McGregor never sleeps, and Starship is evolving fast. V3 will set the industrial cadence. V4 will redefine rocket power. While V4 is the ace for the next phase, 2025 to 2026 belongs to V3, proving rapid reuse, rolling out next-gen Starlink, testing on-orbit refueling, and prepping for Artemis. First, SpaceX must show V3 is stable enough to be a true interplanetary transport. Week 0. Booster 15 to 20 completed a static fire on Pad 1, the final roar of Block 2. 2 weeks ahead, Pad 1 switches to a ship static fire configuration. Ship 38 will test 1 center engine plus 6 RVAC to confirm synchronized operation. Then, Pad 1 reverts to launch configuration for Flight 11, the last Block 2 mission. If testing stays green, a reasonable window is early to mid next month. Flight 12. Focus shifts to V3, with Pad 2 at Starbase and LC-39A in Florida rushing toward readiness. Pad 1 enters a major rebuild, new flame trench, a much larger deluge system, and upgrades to the Pad 2 standard. Further out, before Flight 15, SpaceX may attempt a ship catch with Mechazilla, pending on the first V3 results. Flight 11 closes out Block 2 and clears the runway for V3 to dominate 2025 to 2026. The infrastructure upgrades and ship cache trials will set the operating standard, pushing Starship toward rapid reusability and true interplanetary flights. The final roar on Pad 1 wasn't just a 10-second static fire, it was a starting gun, proof that the Block 2 era has closed cleanly. The trove of data on heat, loads, pressure, plume behavior, and shock waves gathered across multiple flights and tests is enough for SpaceX to step confidently into the next chapter. Block 2, with its stretched airframe and targeted tweaks, fulfilled its role as an interim build, validating hot staging, stress testing the heat shield, and successfully rehearsing payload deployment. But the bigger goal was never to stop there. From here on, all eyes turned to Starship 5-3, a version designed from day one to be a truly reusable, mass-produced heavy-lift machine. With a lengthened booster, an integrated hot staging ring, and more powerful Raptor 3 engines, V3 aims to put 100-plus tons into orbit at unprecedentedly low cost. That's why Booster 15-2's rain-soaked ignition in Boca Chica wasn't merely a technical exercise, it was a declaration. Block 2 has completed its historic mission, and the Starship 5-3 era begins now.